I've always wanted to be a perfectionist. I wanted to be the best in everything.
Tell me about your life as an army captain. You rose through the ranks. The first strike of illness, was it during the course of you being in the SAR?
Within 2 months, I lost about 20 to 25 kilograms.
No kidding.
Without doing anything.
Is this at the same time where you also lose your pilot license?
I planned out 10 years down the road.
How old were you then?
I was 26. Literally, I know that things just got even worse. According to them, that this cancer occurs mostly in women. Even if it occurs in men, it's 1 out of 1 million. My whole internal organs were all jumbled up. It wasn't functioning properly. I told my parents that I had 5% chance of survival. The main question that I posed myself was, am I ready to meet God?
Dalam kehidupan kita ni, dalam perjalanan kehidupan kita ni, sekali kita akan terjatuh. Ada orang jatuh dan dapat bangkit semula, dan ada orang dia jatuh dan sukar untuk bangkit semula. Namun, orang yang dapat bangkit semula itu merupakan orang yang pertama, dia menerima kekuatan, kedua dia menerima hidayah untuk percaya bahawasanya manusia yang diuji itu adalah manusia yang akan dapat mempertingkatkan martabat dirinya secara sedar ataupun tidak. Adakah kesakitan ataupun ujian yang kita terima ni merupakan satu rahmat daripada Tuhan ataupun kita melihatnya sebagai satu musibah yang diberikan Tuhan ke atas diri kita? So, depends on how you perceive life, depends on how you see things. Dan bila datangnya ujian, what do you do to make sure that you are able to move forward with a lot of faith and leave matters in the hands of God? So today we have somebody who have a life that is fulfilling, a life that is destined for good things. But when it comes to a test of time, how did he overcome it? Now, today we have Fuad. I would like to ask you, Fuad, what was it like growing up when everything was considered as normal?
I believe that when I was growing up, I led a carefree life. My parents, they are the ones who taught me about discipline, especially in terms of time management. They would structure my day, making sure that I have sufficient rest, sufficient time to study, sufficient play. There's always a balance throughout life. I was always encouraged and motivated to do well in school. Alhamdulillah, throughout my years in primary school and secondary school, I managed to do well. I managed to excel in my studies. Alhamdulillah, God really gave me that, I would say, intelligence. I had a lot of plans. I had a lot of ambitions. When I was young, I wanted to become a doctor. I put a lot of effort in the sciences, mathematics, which then propelled me forward to achieve a triple science in secondary school, in Victoria School, of which then I realized that I had more to achieve, along with the CCAs and whatnot that I chose, which is I was a band major back in Victoria School Concert Band. So I led a concert band go through competitions. It built me with a lot of courage, a lot of grit. I just believe that with determination and hard work, I could achieve everything.
You're a very smart boy and a popular one in school.
I wouldn't say popular.
But being smart and excel in sports than a band major means you do have a lot of attention.
Somewhat yes. I was, I love to play football, right? Ever since I was young, even with my family members, I would just go out to play, and I felt that when I went to junior college, I joined the football team in Meridian. I believe that sportsman in me pushed me forward to greater heights, right? To excel, and I just believe that I could just excel in everything that I do. I think that balance of what I achieve in sports and what I achieve in my CCA at that point of time meant everything to me,
Yeah.
right? And to make my parents happy with good grades is, of course, another one.
A
to make
job
them
lah.
proud. Yeah.
Almost.
Almost, yeah.
Almost a job.
Almost a job.
So humble, lah. From the ever dream of wanting to be a doctor, then you move to the uniform group.
Yes.
Why? How did that happen?
I realized at that point of time when I joined the army, I would say that poised to be an officer kind of attracted me. I kind of like the regimentation, that discipline, that military lifestyle that I led during my NS. And furthermore, I was encouraged to take up a scholarship in the SAF. So that was something that I discussed with my loved ones, and they pushed me forward to capitalize on it.
Not everybody got the offer of a scholarship, so you must have excelled in your field and also in the academic side of it.
I would say at that point of time, it was not many people got the scholarship, right? Particularly also because the criteria or the standards are pretty high. I would say that I was lucky with the effort that I put in. It just came to realization that perhaps this is meant for me.
So you knew that you have so much drive and very competitive.
Yes, I've always wanted to be. I mean, maybe it sounds morbid, but I've always wanted to be a perfectionist. I want to be good in everything, but I don't particularly show it off or brag about it. I'll just be competitive against myself, to outdo myself, to be even better at anything I do, right? Be it in maybe just a Sunday football session, or be it, to lead a platoon. I just wanted to be the best in everything.
Tell me about your life as an army captain. You rose through the ranks.
Yes, so
in a very short time, I reckon.
not very short time. It was after I completed my studies, I came back to service, and of course there was an placement to become a captain, right? Back then I was already posted to SAFTI OCS to lead a platoon of officers to be. So with that being said, my journey as a captain, I would say colourful. Many people I led along the way, and I hope that I have changed their lives to be better. There are people that I still keep in contact up till today, my men, and I'm always grateful for that opportunity, because that's one of the main reasons of why I signed on in the army, is to meet people.
So do you believe that leaders are born or leaders are designed? What do you think?
In my opinion, maybe not everybody has the capacity to lead, but definitely if you desire to be in a position where you lead people, somehow you will churn out the best in you. So it could be, someone could be shaped to be a leader. Maybe the situation forces you to be one.
So what are you? What were you?
I believe I was just born to lead. And I say that with confidence and all humility.
And yeah, and I believed you. Now, let's talk about the first strike of illness. Was it during the course of you being in the SAF?
Yes.
How did you discover that?
I was in Brunei at that point of time. Me and a few officers went up there to manage a group of cadets, because they are doing the officers orientation course for jungle confidence. So back then, even during the qualification period of having to go to Brunei, you need to complete
A course.
a course, yeah,
Yes.
before you go to Brunei to determine your fitness levels. I was already experiencing some form of discomfort, especially in my lower back, and I felt a bit fatigued, and I lost the will to eat a bit, which is a bit of weird for me, because I'm a person who normally eats well, and I just brushed it off as like a back strain because the army could be quite, rigorous in its activities, and particularly also I'm a gym goer, so I just brushed it off as, hey, this could be just those one-off times when I got injured, right? Just rest for a few weeks, and I'll just be better. But that wasn't the case, right? Even when in Brunei, I had to rely on Panadol, I had to rely on painkillers.
So there were fevers,
Mild fevers.
mild fevers.
Yes.
Do you vomit?
I did not vomit at that point of time. There were mild fevers, but the painkillers were more to cater towards my lower back pain, which I had difficulty, with the daily routines as an instructor back in Brunei. So when I came back, it got worse.
So your gait changes. You can't walk straight.
At that point of time, I felt very restless with my back. I had to always squat down, sit down.
It's like a nagging pain.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, numbing pain, nagging pain. I could not sit still, and it exacerbated to the point where I just could not sleep at night. Yeah, so even when I tried to flatten my back, stretching, I did everything that I can. Right, I even went for acupuncture. Yeah, but to no avail. The pain was still there, and I felt that, hey, this is something was wrong. Yeah, something was wrong. So I went to the doctor. I went to the hospital actually, and the doctor just gave me painkillers because he thought that it's just a strain.
Just another set of painkillers.
Correct.
Just to see what's wrong with you.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But I think the symptoms got worse.
Okay.
The on and off fevers just became more frequent.
What else happened besides the fevers?
I lost a lot of weight. Within 2 months, I lost about 20 to 25 kilograms.
No kidding.
Yes. Without doing anything, I lost that amount of weight. I lost the will to eat. Anything that I try to ingest immediately comes out.
Do you lose your happiness index at the same time? Macam very moody, bingit. The word is bingit.
Of course, yes. Because it came to the point where you just feel that, hey, I can't work out. Where it was the place where I try to release my stress and whatnot. It was to the point that I became a bit tired, trying to endure this pain. But sad to say, things just went spiral down. Yeah.
Is this at the same time where you also lose your pilot license, or you could not cross? You went through the test.
Yes. So during the time when I was in the army, I decided to make a career change. I spoke to my parents about it, and I decided to try to apply as a cadet pilot for Qatar Airways. So I went for the test. It's a campus test, right? I managed to pass, and all I had to do was to just enroll in the training. I was very excited for it. I had plans. I had a lot of ambition. I planned out 10 years down the road.
How old were you then?
I was 26.
You're really planning 10 years ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I met my back then girlfriend, right? And we spoke about it, and we were excited for the future, how it's going to be like, as a pilot. We were trying to, influence each other with regards to our lifestyle and how we could click. So it was a very well planned dream, yeah. But unfortunately, at that point of time when my health went downwards, I had to. One of the most painful things was to email the HR that was managing this admission, this cadet pilot admission, that I had to forgo the course due to health reasons. And what's worse was, at that point of time, I don't know what I was experiencing. I don't know what the diagnosis was. I don't know what's wrong with me. And that was one of the most scary part.
But during that time, it's already 20 kilos down, or 35.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So how did you discover that you are ill, your true illness?
Initially, when I got admitted into hospital, I was diagnosed with thyroid because my hormones were pretty iffy. And
Isn't that strange?
yeah, it's pretty strange. But based on the symptoms, it seems that it clicked. The weight loss, the nausea, the vomiting, the pain.
It has started.
Yes, that's right.
So you were vomiting almost daily?
I would say every time I try to keep my foot down, I would just vomit part of it or almost all of it. Yeah. So initially, when I was diagnosed with thyroid, I was discharged and tried to continue my day to day. But literally, I know that things just got even worse. So I think the red flag was one fine day when I was trying to rub medicated oil onto my tummy, and I saw this bulge on my stomach, on my abdomen, and I thought that that's not normal. So I showed my mother, who was completely shocked.
Is it huge?
It's huge. It's huge. It was protruding out of my stomach, right? It was the size of a golf ball, and we knew that at that point of time, this is not normal. Something is wrong. We rushed to the A&E, and the doctor gave me a ultrasound on my liver, and they found lesions, multiple lesions.
Multiple lesions?
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically tumors. Yeah. And when they told me that, I remember at that point of time, I was really very, very scared. Right? Even at that point of time, I don't know what I was facing. I don't know how to explain to my parents.
Sounds like it's the first time you feel really, really worried and scared.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And that was just the ultrasound, right? It wasn't even the diagnosis or the investigation into what was the root cause.
So you were there alone? No one...
My father was there. He put up a brave front, right? He said that, oh, inshallah, nothing. I think it's gonna be okay. You know, don't worry too much. Let's get yourself checked even more, right? Let's deep dive into this a bit more, of course, and we see how it goes. After a while, we did a blood test and we did a CT scan. The multiple tumors found on the other parts of the body, my lymph nodes, my liver, my lungs. And
it has spread without you knowing it?
Yes, that's right. Okay. So at that point of time, the doctor told me that this might be cancer. Those tumors don't look normal. The doctor told me that, hey, this it seems to be that it's that the tumor seems to be malignant, and we have to do a biopsy on you. But the biopsy wasn't until the following week, and I was already panicking. Right, I wanted this to be resolved as soon as possible. I just want answers, and whatever it is, I just wanted treatment to ensue as soon as possible. So I requested myself to be discharged, to go to SGH immediately. And the following day, I got a biopsy. And the next day itself, it was... It was that morning when the doctor just came into the room and just told me that I had late-stage cancer. It's a rare type of cancer. Choriocarcinoma, and I have 30% chance of survival. But that's what they told me to make me not so discouraged. But behind closed doors, they told my parents that I had 5% chance of survival.
5%?
Yes. The time left wasn't long, to the extent that since the spread was so rapid and aggressive, right, the doctors determined that it could have just spread over a few weeks or months.
Did it tell you what causes it?
Due to the rarity of this type of cancer, they could not determine accurately what was the root cause of it.
But was there a family history of cancer?
No, there was
Nothing. It's
there
just
was
very
nothing.
isolated.
Yes, that's right. My parents, my uncle, my grandfather, they never had cancer. So it was just me. Yeah. So they were quite puzzled as to how did this cancer even come about. Because according to them, that this cancer occurs mostly in women. Even if it occurs in men, it's 1 out of 1 million. And I was only the third person in Singapore to have ever got.
Did you take time to internalize it? It's like, why me?
Of course, at that point of time when the news was broke to me, I tried my hard to swallow it, but
It's tough.
but it was very, very tough, right? I tried to question, like, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve all this? Right? But why me? Have I done bad to people to deserve this kind of retribution? To me, it's always about cause and effect, right? Yeah. So a direct causation that could be that I could have done something back to someone, but
Did you?
I believe I did not. I was always happy around people. I got along with my friends very well, right? But at that point of time, I was questioning a lot. And the main question that I posed myself was, am I really to meet God? Like, for real, this is real.
This is 5% living.
It's like, I could be gone in the next few hours, right?
So what went through your mind during that time? Besides thinking about dying, how long do you cry? How long do you shed your tears?
I tried to mask everything inside me and say that, it's going to be okay and whatnot. I remember that the first night that I stayed in the hospital after learning the news, I was trying to, of course, try to make sense of it, right? But there was no sense. There was no answers. I was
Macam
lost.
susah nak percaya lah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Betul ke?
Yeah, so I was macam tengah fikir lah, what am I supposed to do next? Taubat. I think that's the normal thing that any human Muslim
Do
would
you
do.
feel macam aku ni banyak dosa ataupun aku ni ada tak dosa dengan Tuhan? What did I not do
Yeah.
to appease God? Something like that.
Correct. Yeah. All those times that I missed my prayers and whatnot, then He came to visit me, I would say. I guess I would say that my sins came to visit me. And I tried to repent, of course, right? But it was not so simple.
What did you wish for during that time? Or what did you ask for from God? Ingat tak?
I wish that I would never disobey my parents. I think that was the number one thing that I forsake or I took for granted. I tried to converse with the Almighty that I just want another chance to survive.
But you look like the ever obedient son. but
I tried
let's
to be.
but that's between you and your parents, right? Only we all have our rebellious period.
Yes, that's right.
When they say yes, we all say no.
Yes.
Now let's talk about when you have internalized this pain, when you have internalized the cancer. You say, okay lah, aku ada cancer lah. Let's go through the motion of getting well.
So I thought that, okay, fine, I have cancer. Come, let's look at solutions. Right?
Okay.
Let's move forward and look at solutions rather
Can
than.
still think straight lah.
Yeah, I try to think. I force myself to think straight. I mean, normally I would just try not to dwell on it and just move forward to think of solutions. So what's next, right? It was okay, chemo. Come, let's do it. Right? Don't waste time. Let's do it. Let's get over and done with. Inshallah, who knows that I might pull through.
But you don't have any idea how painful chemotherapy is.
I didn't know. I've heard of it.
Yes.
Some people try to discourage me from it because of the side effects that it has.
Yeah.
But I decided to go for it because there's no other choice. The extent of which it was spread was so
Vast.
so vast that I need something that was immediate and quick. So I tried to have chemo, but at the same time I believe that I hear my parents' advice to continue pray, to continue to repent, to continue to read the Quran, etc., etc. And I try to internalize and accept this. I think the first level of activity, or I try to tell myself is, come, let's accept this first. Once you've accepted it, you can move on. Lo and behold, I thought I could accept it. even during my treatment, there was a complication. That was when I faced a rupture in my liver
Oh dear.
due to the drugs, the chemotherapy drugs. Multiple tumors in my liver start to rupture, and I faced internal bleeding. My stomach was completely distended all the while. I was screaming in excruciating pain.
But you can't tell where the pain is.
I keep pressing. I remember I keep telling the nurse that the right side of abdomen was so painful, blinding pain, that I even fainted from the pain. And I woke up, I was still in pain.
Oh dear.
That was the one of the most painful moments of my life, right? And I was rushed to the scan, and that's where the doctors told me that there was internal bleeding, and I had to rush for surgery the following morning.
So they cut you up.
They didn't. They did this process called embolization, where they tried to make a small incision through my thigh and insert some apparatus through my body to the liver to block out all those lesions that were bleeding. At that point of time, I remember my dad told me that I was pale, and the doctor told me that, I gotta be very, very frank with you. It's either you do this or you die. And I like his honesty. He was brutally honest. But I told him that what if I do it? You could also die, right? So I talked to my dad and say, "Bah, let's just do it."
It's worth trying.
Yeah, it's a tawakal. If it's my time to go, then it's not within my power to.
How long was the surgery? How long does it take for you to?
6 hours. I remember I was I was inside this chamber. I can't remember. My vision was quite blurred at the point of time. And I recited every prayer that I could. Especially the selawat lah. And it was long, painful. Even when they injected me, I could feel the apparatus inside my body. And at that point of time, I was counting the minutes or hours that I could, just not ever wake up again.
Were you ready to go?
I wasn't.
Or you were like, no, I will survive this?
No. I was actually giving up. At the point I was actually really, really giving up. Because of what the doctor told me. Right? And I was actually ready to go. I was like closing my eyes, and I was praying. And I closed my eyes, and I kept telling myself, I think the next moment I open my eyes is probably I've been questioned by the angels. I mean, now that I could joke about it, but that was at that point of time I was really thinking about that. I was really thinking about death. Death was really knocking on the door. I knew I wasn't ready.
But 6 hours later, you woke up.
Yeah. I woke up, and the doctor told me, I remember it was an Indian doctor. He tried to cheer me up. It was very encouraging. He told me that, well done, stay strong. You're going to get through this. I remember it was a Sunday. And when I came out, I saw my parents, and they were, I mean, everyone was crying out there. Except my dad. I tell you, my dad he was a rock, right? I just gave him a thumbs up, because I was already sedated and whatnot. Just give him a thumbs up, and the next moment I was in a critical care ward. But what followed on through was difficult.
So what went through was the road to recovery.
Yes. It was difficult because my whole internal organs were all jumbled up. It wasn't functioning properly. My liver wasn't functioning. My intestines weren't functioning at all. I was vomiting gastric juices, green. I was vomiting green even without ingesting anything, and that was the gastric juices. I cannot defecate. I cannot urine. So there was nothing, and I was losing blood. I lost the ability to clot, meaning to say if I hit something, I could just die of
Bleeding.
Yeah. So the doctors were busy, pumping me with blood and platelets to make sure that I could, get sufficient nutrients through the IV and whatnot. But at the same time, I was trying to internalize that, hey, can I even get through this? This is painful. I was basically living on morphine, right? Painkillers all the while. The moment the morphine wears out, it was excruciating pain because the wound was fresh, right? It was 8 days without food or drink. It was nothing. It was just pure vomiting or just lying down.
Did you give up during that? Like, never mind, finished, done, I'm giving up? Or you were still determined to go through it?
I tried to fight.
Yes.
I would say I tried to fight. My parents, my father and my mother keep encouraging me to push through this, Hey, I've already made the first hurdle of surgery, don't waste it. I keep telling myself that, I'm sure that, God gave me a purpose, gave me a reason to survive that surgery. So that became the driving factor towards the next stage, which is to try to get to resume chemotherapy, right? So, but it was painful, right? I had convulsions at night. I was shaking. Occasionally, I had fever to the point I was shaking. I was telling the nurse to shut the aircon because I was freezing cold, but it wasn't cold at all because the other patients, they looked fine. It was just my body just not well, right? I was hungry, but at the same time, I knew that I couldn't ingest anything.
Yeah.
I can't eat anything, right? And I just could rely on the fluid that the doctor gave. The next moment, the doctor told me that, we will try to give you something sweet to drink, vomit out. I just cannot ingest. So it took me quite a while to adjust to eating and drinking. But the moment when my lips touched the fluid, I remember, I could really remember that nikmat, their blessing. It was really a blessing to drink, to eat. And after that, to defecate and to urinate. It was a blessing. I was so happy. I was never ever happy to. It might seem weird, but I was never ever happy to
pee.
To pee, yeah. Because I knew that, I'm functioning, And all this while that I never thank God for all these blessings. And that was a lesson back then. Everything was a blessing. Yeah. So what ensued then, I tried to ingest small soft foods first. Then, but at the same time, my muscles were losing a lot of mass. My legs were skinny.
Does it cause some form of depression?
Of course. Yeah, especially because
You're a sportsman.
Yes, I thrive on, working out, exercising, playing sports. So at the point of time when I lost everything, right? It was really I lost my self-esteem. I lost my identity. I lost everything. The next stage of recovery was I tried to resume chemotherapy.
That's another set of pain.
I was exhausted and I collapsed in the toilet. My mom found me lying down in the toilet. I was spent fighting cancer. I was reaching my 30s, right? I was thinking about my friends, what they are doing. They're all chasing their careers. It was hard to find a job. I felt that I was not providing. As a man, you want to provide for the family, right? What's the point of living if you can't live a normal life? I doubted the existence of the divine power that is above us. I just wanted to know why. And if you are there,
If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for notifications.